We're live. Life is good. If you're not a car dealer, you probably just want to turn this off right now because you won't care at all about today's video. If you are a car dealer, you want to stick around. Um, so I think a lot of us in the world today, not just car dealers, would say that Google is the only thing that matters. I mean, Google is the shit. I mean, it controls the world, and it's the only engine that matters. And I would tend to agree with you, except when it comes to used cars. And I think with used cars, it's a different animal. So let's take a look at that when we come back. So, when it comes to shopping for a used car, consumers don't automatically go to Google. And I think a lot of folks are going to be surprised by that fact. Um, Almost 50% of consumers start their search on a third party. Cars.com, Autotrader, KBB, TrueCar, CarGurus, that sort of a site. Under 12% start at Google. And I'm not just making this up. This is from PCG Research, and I'm going to switch over to this. There you go. This was the U.S. Consumer Auto Shopper Influence Study. And right here, 47.44% start on the used car search engines that are Autotrader, Cars.com, etc. And that's exactly what these sites are. They're used car search engines. And I think you can, if you want, you can optimize for these sites, just like you can optimize, you can SEO for Google. Cars.com, KBB, and TrueCar all use the terminology best match sort. So that's their default sort. It's an algorithm. You can't trick the algorithm, but as soon as you start to understand the algorithm, you can, I don't want to say take advantage because you really can't, but you can um, make sure that your listings comply and rank higher because you've done all the things that the algorithm requires of you. AutoTrader does the same thing. They just use a different term. They call it relevancy. CarGurus is the oddball. Their default sort is best deals. So basically, they're saying, the best price wins. um, yeah, I think there's a place for that in the world, and I think car dealers don't necessarily want to always be the cheapest in the game. Um, and I think a lot of consumers don't necessarily want to be buying the cheapest car either. They want to get a fair deal and they want to buy it from a reputable dealer. They want to have a vehicle that meets their needs, but it doesn't have to be the absolute best deal in the world. Um, Now, just like with Google, the most complete, the most relevant, the most helpful data wins. And I spent about a half dozen years at vAuto, and I haven't been there for a while. vAuto used to have a tool that allowed dealers to check their their listings on AutoTrader and Cars.com for completeness. And back in the day, and I think the tool is still in place, and I think it still talks about pictures and pricing. And before best match and relevancy, pricing and pictures was it. That was, if you had pictures, you had pricing, you were in good shape. Today, that's not enough. And we'll get into this because um, just having some pictures and some pricing, you're not ranking high on any of these algorithms. And I'm going to pull up a picture that I took um, with cars.com anyway. And again, I do work for cars.com, but today I'm just talking to you like I would talk to a dealer. I'm not speaking on behalf of my company. I just want to be clear on that. Um, if I pull up your inventory as a dealer in cars.com and then I export this into a spreadsheet, I can then find where you have blanks in your inventory. So I'm going to switch over to this and I'll show you. And this dealer has a lot of inventory and they don't have a lot of blanks. And yet, so here's a couple of vehicles that we don't have the trim. Here we're missing exterior colors. We're missing interior colors. We're missing engine size. These are the sorts of things that will move you down on the search results page. And I think a lot of dealers don't realize how important those things are. I'm looking at an F350, a 2017 Ford. It's a crew cab pickup. The dealer has this advertised for $46,000. This is a big, expensive vehicle. We're missing the exterior color, we're missing the interior color, and we're missing the engine size. I know because I've looked at this vehicle, it's a Power Stroke diesel. And it actually says it's a Power Stroke diesel in the comments, but they didn't fill in the blank on engine size. And it's hurting this vehicle on their search result page. And I know for a fact that this dealer doesn't want to be number 13 out of 15 vehicles, or I think 14 out of 15 in the market. And this vehicle deserves better placement. And the reason why it's down on the list, lower on the search result page than it should be, it's because they're missing data. And just like a Google sort and search, you want to have complete relevant data. And certainly the interior color, the exterior color, the engine size, the trim level, these things are very, very relevant to a shopper. And we're all about, and it's not just my company, it's all of the search engines, the third party marketplace sites. We want to match your vehicle to the customer's needs, wants, desires. And if we can do that efficiently and get them to the right vehicle sooner, that's a win. So these things, and if you're a cars.com customer, talk to your local rep and ask them, what do we need to do to be high on the search result page? And you won't necessarily always be number one. And it's a lot of this is going to depend on the customer's search because we want to be relevant to the customer. A lot of this is just common sense. You want to fill in these blanks, and we have some tools available to us to help you figure out what the blanks are. And I think if you're an Autotrader customer, you want to ask your rep, what can I do to get a little higher on the listings? And I'm not talking about premium listings. I'm talking within the premium or the standard listing category. And now on top of this, you can also pay attention to, and this isn't really the optimizing part. This is a separate issue. I had a great conversation with Jason Rice, and for my car dealer friends, if you don't know Jason Rice, follow him on Facebook, follow him on YouTube. He has a wealth of knowledge. He spent years at V Auto as a performance manager, and he has his own company now, and he coaches dealers on inventory and best practices. And I mean, he has probably the most complete knowledge base of anybody I know. So I was talking to him the other day about a dealer that just isn't getting as many VDPs as other dealers. Um, I think they're getting good value from my company, and yet they're not getting as many VDPs. And when we started to dive into this, their pricing is 3 or 4% higher than a lot of their competitors. And I mean, they're getting half the VDPs. And I think on a let's say a $20,000 car, um, or a $15,000 car, if you're 4% high or 3% high, that's 500, $600 over the average compared to some of the competition. That kills your search results. And of course, Jason said, how many pictures do they have? And as we start to look at the things that you can do to rank higher on our algorithm, I've asked the question, how many pictures do we need to have? And our our staff in Chicago, just like Google, they don't tell us. And I think the number changes, and they're tweaking the algorithm on an ongoing basis. The more pictures, the better. And certainly, if you have one, two, three, four, that hurts you dramatically. I don't want to say kills you, but um, you need to have as many pictures as possible. So, pictures, they're crucial. Um, Talking to Jason, I was talking to a dealer this week. They had a vehicle that was 221 days old, I believe, I think. And the vehicle was priced at $25,235, give or take. And I looked at the dealer and I said, knowing Jason Rice and his he's kind of drilled this into me as well. If you can price that vehicle at 25,000, flat price, not 25 and change, not 24,995, 25,000. And the reason for this is if you price it at 25, you can take advantage of customers that are searching for a $20,000 to $25,000 vehicle, and you can also show up on searches that are $25,000 to $30,000. So you can double the exposure. You can, and certainly on an aged vehicle, 200 and some odd days old, you want to get as much exposure as possible. So getting more exposure, and these are things that really aren't within the realm of optimizing on any of the search engines, but it's dialing all of the right things in. If you have a lot of high priced inventory and you don't have the vehicles that are in the price range where a lot of your market is shopping, you're not going to get as many results. You're not going to get as many VDPs. You're not going to have as many connections. So all of these things work together to hurt you. And you really, as a dealer, you want to do as many things to help yourself and get as much exposure, get as many connections with customers as you possibly can. So I will make a point of linking to Jason Rice. just because I've been talking about him. I think, again, if you're not following Jason on YouTube, on Twitter, um, on Facebook, his company is Lot Pop. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Jason. Um, if you're not doing the things that I just discussed, shame on you. If you want information, get a hold of me. I'm more than happy to kind of walk you through what you could do to kind of figure out where your inventory holes are, and the things that maybe you could have been taking into account and you haven't been paying attention to. And it's not your fault. You just need to know. So have a great day. Thank you, and thank you for bearing with me.